one factor that is not non-negotiable is quality. And that really is that's ball in line. You take one fish, you maximize it, and you ensure it gets to market.
This is Fishtales, a seafood podcast. I'm John Sussman. Saint Helena is a remote volcanic island located in the South Atlantic Ocean, known for its rich history and unique fishing traditions. The island is part of a British overseas territory and is situated approximately 2,000 kilometres west of southwestern coast of Africa. The history of fishing on Saint Helena dates back centuries and has played a significant role in shaping the island's culture and economy. Fishing has been a vital source of sustenance for the local population, as the island's isolation made it necessary for residents to rely on the abundant marine resources available in the surrounding waters. In recent times, Saint Helena has made efforts to balance the economic benefits of fishing with the need for sustainable practices to protect marine ecosystems. Conservation measures and responsible fishing practices are being implemented to ensure the long-term viability of fishing on the island and to safeguard its rich marine heritage for future generations. It's regarded as one of the most successful premium pole and line tuna fisheries in the world, with the quality of the catch heralded globally. Johan Beizuidenhout is at the forefront of the renaissance of this amazing fishery. Driven by a love of the ocean and of tuna, he is setting a new and exciting direction for this remote and very unique fishery.
I'm Johan Beizuidenhout, and we are on the island of Saint Helena. It's in between the continent of Africa and South America, about 2,000 kilometers away from the Angolan coast, due west. A very small island in the middle of the Atlantic, South Atlantic. Yeah, there's one flight a week from South Africa to the island, which is, for argument's sake, sufficient. There can be more if tourism picks up, but basically 4,000 people on the island. The island is only like 16 by 8 kilometers. Highest point is about 820 meters. So it's a beautiful little island. The people are friendly, and it's a different way of life. To say simple, it's not complex. It's really a small knit community that I would just say, enjoy life in a simpler, I would almost say better way. Things are really relaxed on the island. It's really a good vibe on the island. It is. It's ingrained in the history. It's a very personal thing on Saint Helena. Every islander knows fishing, has someone fishing. It's the main source of protein for the island. It really is ingrained in their culture and the history. It's really an important aspect of the island, and also from an economical perspective, it is really the only industry on island that can make large contributions to the economy. Tourism is the other one, but with COVID and the effects of that, there's not too many tourists visiting the island currently. So it is a very important sector to develop. And again, it's emotional. So politically, you need to navigate it well, because there are difference in opinions. But I firmly believe that collectively we can get the motion forward and establish this fishery for the benefit not only of the fishermen, but every saint on the rock.
Fishing with one's father as a young boy can ignite a lifelong passion by creating cherished memories of adventure and shared experiences on the water, fostering a deep connection to the activity and a desire to continue it throughout one's life.
Oh, my dad was fishing since I could remember. He was always sports fishing, rock and surf. Grew up, from as early as I can remember. I've been fishing, I think, since I was 3-4 years old. My dad was always every weekend stuck either been next to a river or the seaside. So I grew up fishing just as a family passion. And I was, after school, I went to on a little walkabout and came back 2 years later. My dad said, "We're going fishing." I said, "Yes." We bought a boat and went down to Niceland and started fishing. And it was just a natural flow of things. And being involved in the fishing industry, there was a factory that opened in Plettenberg Bay that my dad went off to manage, and I worked for the Spanish, still fished for the Spanish. who took me down to Cape Town, and I got involved in the commercial side of things, and I had longliners fishing hake specifically for the Spanish market, and it's just been something that we have always loved doing. And I had to leave the commercials or the big corporates because I really didn't agree with the methodology. The fishermen are always the ones getting the short straw, and the value is sucked out. Back in 99, really, my dad and myself got a small handline vessel. We were fishing handline and Poland line or whatever out of Neisner in the Cape Coast, and I subsequently ended up working for Spanish and South African commercial companies. But I actually ended up being the recession 2008 saw me engage my second biggest passion, which is diving. And I became a commercial oil and gas operative. I'm a commercial diver and a technician in oil and gas sectors. And I saw this boat for sale on Saint Helena Island. So that's why I visited in March 2019, is to buy this tuna pole boat. And got hooked that way.
The waters surrounding Saint Helena Island are teeming with an amazing diversity of fish life, including a range of majestic tuna, showcasing a vibrant and thriving marine ecosystem that captivates both fishermen and nature enthusiasts.
Fishing is fantastic. I've never, neither in fishing nor diving, I've seen water of this pristine color. The fish is in abundance. There is some seasonality to it, but being so far north, close to the equator, the weather conditions are fantastic. And as long as you can get out there, you can get the fish. Predominantly, all fish are caught with live bait, and live bait is usually in good supply. There are times when the live bait are not around the island or on location, which makes fishing difficult. But I've been out there, and it's the most fish I've seen, especially on the seamounts. It's phenomenal, actually. We have no pollutants. There's no industry close by. We don't even have big rivers or flow. There's very little water pollution. There obviously is, but stuck in the middle of the Atlantic, our conditions are, for the lack of a better word, I would say pristine in comparison to most other coastal regions. It's predominantly yellowfin tuna. We also have big eye, longfin, yellowfin, skipjack as a tuna species. Then there are other species of interest, which really is our objective here, is to build a sustainable fishery and to create a basket that is sustainable. Whether it's tuna species, there is deep sea red crab, for arguments, for instance, as well as squid species that one can target. And the objective is to lessen the impact on any one given species by spreading that over the species available and create that basket that can collectively carry the weight of the industry. But the main historical species of targets definitely is yellowfin.
The small but unique fleet of artisanal boats and skilled fishermen on Saint Helena reflects a traditional and intimate approach to fishing that has been honed over generations, embodying a deep connection to the island's maritime heritage.
The fleet is very artisanal. It is a small fishing fleet consisting of primarily about 13 vessels. Of which only 2 currently are capable of fishing the offshore seamounts. Most of them only fish the inshore. And because of the state of the factory, back in 2019, the factory, I think October 2019, the factory officially closed because just due to breakdowns and lack of maintenance, really. So the biggest challenge back then was to be able to get a quality product from the vessels to the market. We first had to fix the factory before we could actually start exporting and getting the product back onto the market. So the biggest issue was really the ability to land quality, to land volume, and the fleet is also in capacity-wise small. They do an average of about 250, 300 tonne per annum, which volume, in terms of volume isn't great. So we are yet to improve that by supplying bigger vessels to target specifically offshore regions where we can get the bigger volumes and larger fish.
The unique pole and line fishing for tuna characterised by the use of a single line and hook where one skilled fisherman meticulously targets one fish at a time, is rapidly gaining recognition as the pinnacle of sustainability and quality in fishing, embodying a meticulous and environmentally conscious approach to harvesting marine resources.
It's pole and line, so it's we follow the one-by-one philosophy. It's a marine protected area, category 6, so there's no heavy commercial activities allowed, no long lining, no trawling. So our 200 EZ is reserved for one-by-one harvesting only, one hook, one line, one hook, one fish at a time, as they say. And it's a sustainable fishery, but very much the same. Pole and line, rod and reel, one fish up in the ice, and continue with the next. The pole and line, if the tuna is on the surface, you can bait them and hook them right there on the surface, turn their heads and get them on deck. Versus if the fish is deeper and you're fishing rod and reel, then landing a big tuna can take some time. You have to play that fish and work that fish really hard to get it up from depth. And basically, as soon as that tuna can turn its head and swim, you are in a fight. It takes just that much longer to land fish on rod and reel than it does pole and line.
The life of a day boat pole and line fisherman is as harmonious as dancing with the sea, working in close coordination with the weather and the rhythm of the waves while skillfully coaxing tuna from the depths. It embodies a timeless connection between human and ocean.
Yeah, you would be up at the steps, 4 o'clock, catch the ferry out to your vessel and cast off to chase bait, get mackerel in Kingston in your live bait tanks, and then shoot off chasing tuna when in between the dolphins that are there. You'll catch your tuna, and if it's on the banks, for instance, that's a nice 12-hour sail. I think the most beautiful part for me shooting out to the banks are the fact that I never see another vessel. Coming from the oil and gas, there's so many lights on the horizon all over. There's so much activity on the water. Back in South Africa as well, there are many operatives on any given day chasing the same tuna. But here in Saint Helena, you are cruising out, and it's really that absolute peace and tranquility of being out there, knowing you're basically the only boat. And when you get to the fishing grounds and you get into that school of tuna, it is just phenomenal. You can really enjoy catching and landing every tuna. In South Africa, it was different for me. It's that commercial thing. You have to be quick in it's numbers and you're chasing. In Saint Helena, it's so far relaxed. You can get out there, you work the tuna, you make sure that every fish is well presented and handled on deck, and you shoot back off and come in late the afternoon. Not mostly, I think anything from 1 o'clock. If the fishing is good, it's quick. And you get back, we offload the fish on the quayside, put it on slurry, and then you get your ice for the next day. We make squeegee. It's basically ground up mince almost from the tuna to use as bait for the next morning to attract the mackerel in Kingston. And you set sail and go back to the moorings and reset for day number 2. Inshore, I would say one guy on a boat, about 200-300 kilos on an average on normal day. On the banks, there is a lot more. One of the operatives go out. He's got three crew on board. They do 2.5 to 4 ton in one day, pole and line. It really is good fishing out there. It's a good workout. Tuna is, I think, the biggest fighting fish in the sea. It gives you a very good fight, and pole and line, obviously, it's way quicker than rod and reel. But if the fish is on the surface and it's a good size, it's a very good workout. You've worked tuna by the end of the day, absolutely.
The ever-shifting influence of seasons shapes the ebb and flow of an artisanal fishery, guiding the movements of marine life and dictating the rhythms of the fishermen's lives.
There is seasonality, absolutely. We do have a winter season, which is basically now. So I would say from May till August is the lesser fishing months, but we still land fish 12 months a year. And Yeah, it's much more forgiving than what I'm used to down in the Cape. The Cape of Storms, when that weather's up and the southeaster is going, you're not fishing. In Saint Helena, predominantly because of the island, you always have a lee. So there's always somewhere around the island that you can actually fish. So you really have the opportunity to land fish all year round. It's really only in extreme cases where either you can't get the bait in the morning, that you are your chances are less of landing, or there's really a severe storm, especially the northern weather that kills it in Jamestown. But really, it's a good year fishing all year round.
Embedded within the heart of the artisanal fisherman's ethos is an innate relationship with conservation, fostering a symbiotic alliance where sustainable practices are a testament to their unwavering commitment to preserve the delicate balance of the marine ecosystem.
Conservation, we have a very good team on the island, and they are passionate about preserving the resource and protecting it for future generations. So, coming from the outside world, this fishery has never been abused. So it really is that gem, that pearl that has not been abused, that you can work and establish correctly. So a big thing is to keep the greed off the table and keep the big corporates, not to blame corporates per se, but to keep it honest, to keep it pure. I think that is a big challenge, because there is value, and it has to be done responsibly. So in terms of that, working with Marine Section, I know that there will not be any big steps or big decisions made. It will be a progressive build, a conservative one, which obviously is good. And it's more the nature of the island is that there's a lack of, I would say, exposure to the external factors in the fishing industry. Everybody, I believe, although they differ in opinion, I do believe everyone has at the center the desire to do the best for the island. But there is a bit of division between some fishermen, and I think that's normal. The one group believes left is the right way, and the other one believes the right is the right way. Collectively, I do think we're going to make it, though.
With a steadfast dedication to sustainable practices, a rich maritime heritage, and an evolving appreciation for responsible fishing, the fishery on Saint Helena holds a promising future marked by thriving ecosystems and a harmonious coexistence between tradition and conservation.
My hopes are high, really. They have a model here that, like I said, it's not been abused, and we don't have big participants. Our vessels' average size is maybe 8, 9, 10 meters. The landing capacities are really low. It is something that can be done as a model to showcase really to the rest of the world that if you do it sustainably, you do it responsibly, that it is possible, and it's sustainable, it's profitable. So I really have hope for this fishery, and there's not much that you need to change to make it a reality. Our biggest factor to overcome is our location and logistics. So we do add a lot of cost to receiving our goods, and obviously exporting again, because it's per ship at the moment, and you only have that one option. And sea freight is expensive, especially after COVID. Things have dramatically changed in sea freight. So ensuring that you get a quality product is more challenging from Saint Helena, purely that currently we have to buy from South Africa, Namibia, or Europe. It is transshipped from Walfish Bay in Namibia across to the island. And from here we send it back to Luanda currently on a feeder service, which then links up to a vessel from Luanda to Portugal. And it just adds cost to the product. Unfortunately, our airport is in such state that you can't really start up a commercial venture. The volumes we can fly off the island are really limited. We can only do at the moment about 1.5 ton per week or per flight. So you don't have the economies to build a fresh a fresh product or line from the island, really, it's got to be frozen for the interim until we have air freights established, if at all. So the logistics is the difficult one. But in terms of fishing and the future, I'm extremely hopeful. We have all the aspects, we have everything. We just have to pull it together in the right sequence to make it sustainable and work together. And really what we have to work on most, I would say, in the industry is unity amongst all the participants, to get that unity, so you collectively building in the right direction or the same direction.
Fishermen like Johan Beizuidenhout stand at the vanguard of a renaissance in the timeless and ecologically sound art of pole and line fishing, garnering international acclaim for its exceptional quality and sustainability, exemplifying a back-to-the-future approach that paves the path forward.
The most important differentiating factor in fishing for me is quality. If you ensure that maximized quality per fish caught, you will catch that much less. If people are not taking care of quality, the only mitigating factor they have to increase profits is volume. So I really believe that you have to maximize the potential of every fish landed, and by that is true conservation, where you only take what you take and you ensure that the maximum quality is preserved per fish, getting the best price for that fish, which inevitably means that costs are covered and you need not catch that many more. So if people are not concerned about quality, and this is where Ryan and myself definitely have, I really appreciate what that man does in every aspect of fishing, but the one quality factor that is not non-negotiable is quality. And that really is that's pole in line. You take one fish, you maximize it, and you ensure it gets to market. What I love most is seeing the change in people. See how they enjoy applying themselves, doing what they've grown to love. Like I said, it's generational, and to see it come together and work, I think it's the biggest reward. So yeah, I believe that we can build this to the benefit of all, the fishermen specifically, ensuring that the benefit is felt on the bottom, and not just sprinkled down from the top, but really building it from the bottom up. The model is simple. We have a cooperative structure where the fishermen, they own the company that leases the factory, that does all the fishing, the production, and the export. So it's not owned by myself. It's owned by us as the fishermen. We are 9 members at the moment, I really believe we can build this, and the reward would be to see it flourish and the fishermen, making it work for themselves.
This is Fishtales, a seafood podcast. A Deep in the Weeds production. I'm John Sussman. Follow us on Instagram at Fishtales Seafood Podcast, or email us at fishtalespodcast@deepintheweeds.com.au. Stay tuned for more tales from beneath the surface of the seafood world every Friday on your podcast app.